Hey guys, Savage Joy here with Real Progressives. So, tonight was the second debate. I'm gonna wait till some more of you join. But it was interesting there. I think there were a few more interesting moments than there were last night's debate. I'm just gonna kind of give it a few minutes till more people join. But while we're waiting for more people to join, definitely put in the comments, did you guys watch the debate? What did you guys think? There were definitely some standout moments, that's for sure. And of course, it was always amazing to see my Bernie. But yeah, so some of the people were expectedly pretty damn boring. And some kind of surprised me. So the first question was to Bernie, of course, because, basically, their questions weren't as hard as I thought they were going to be quite honest. When it came to him, I thought for sure they would, kind of, especially with Maddow and Chuck Todd, I thought for sure it was going to be, just really like, so you say you want socialism, that kind of thing. Yeah, Logan, like, a lot of them did tear each other apart, so it was really freaking fascinating. Bernie did a great job. Some of his answers were, the kind of things we've heard him say before. One of the things that really stood out to me about Bernie's answer was when the candidates were asked, who do you want to, what country do you want to sit down and discuss things with? Who's our threat? And everyone's, China, Russia, things like that. And Bernie said the United Nations. And I thought, holy shit, is that a good answer? Holy shit. Good answer. I mean, because he's right. We need to fix our relationships with a hell of a lot more countries than just one. So yeah, I was very proud of that answer. I was proud of his closing statement. So I think he did a great job. I could see how definitely, yeah, I agree. The 10-person format, I mean, it's just, I could see how frustrated everyone was getting, that they were like, 45 seconds to respond. Are you kidding me? I could not. I mean, I can't say shit in 45 seconds. Are you kidding me? Especially when you're talking about, actual, like, people's lives and stuff. Biden was slurring his words, absolutely. And people said they think that it's because he has dentures, but, like, I watched super close tonight, and I don't think he has dentures. Like, I think he just slurs. So, yeah, I mean, Kamala, I'm not a fan. I cannot stand that woman. I will not vote for that woman, but I gotta give her props. She came at Biden like a freaking champ. Like, now, do I think her reasoning was genuine? Of course not. But the fact of the matter is, she came at Biden. Like, she straight up legit went at Biden. I'm sure you guys will see the clips if you haven't. I was impressed simply because she brought it. People are very, like, you can't say anything bad about Obama or Biden, but she did, she said, she said she was hurt by the way, he was praising white supremacists, and she was saying that she was a victim of busing when she was, growing up in school. And, it was, but he did make it worse upon himself, Joe, because but it's so funny because Joe's face when she was like, there was a little girl who, had to take a certain bus and blah, blah, blah. And she goes, and that was me. And he goes, and his face dropped. It was kind of awesome. So anyway, so Cindy, Biden's stare. What the fuck? That was so creepy, okay? So creepy. Because everybody was talking past their time. They were given 45 seconds for rebuttals. Everyone. So, and Biden, it was like he was coached into saying, if you ever feel like you're gonna say something stupid, just say, oh, okay, I guess my time is up. Because he was like, he spoke for like 10 seconds, and then he's like, oh, I guess my time's up. And like, nobody even told him it was. But everyone else is going over their time and talking while others are too. But then he actually interrupted himself and goes, oh, I guess my time's up. So that, that was hilarious. The fact that, there was the one point when Swalwell was freaking, he goes, Joe, and Joe's like, like he looked like someone was like holding him at gunpoint, like his eyes bugged out. He looked startled as hell. It was hilarious, but it was sad at the same time. Now, one of the things that really, really, really surprised me, although it was the guy from the Unidos, the Spanish channel, I forget what his name is, but he asked Biden, he's like, okay, well, I understand that, you're saying, what Trump's doing with immigration is horrible, but you and Obama deported over 3.1 million immigrants. And he confronted Biden with that, and I was like, holy shit, oh my God. Like, I was so proud that someone did that. Granted, it's someone of color who is not on MSM. They're on, the Spanish channel, so, it's more plausible it came from, that than MSM, but it was really awesome. So, and of course he was like, totally deflecting and, things like that. And he just answered pathetically. And then at one point he goes, I find it very unfair that you're trying to compare Obama to Trump and stuff. And then the neo-lib audience was like, whoa. It's like, dude, your boy, like they're sharing, pictures of like kids in cages and stuff, and like Trump's the devil. Actually Google, because that photo happened in 2013 and Trump wasn't president then, so maybe you should be outraged regardless of who is the person who did it. Obama did want to build a wall, and guess what, so did Hillary. So there were only two people who talked about ending wars. Bernie and Williamson. So, and I gotta say, Williamson was really weird. Like, I mean, weird. not necessarily in a bad way, but she was pretty weird. So let's see. Bernie said that the Obama let Joe smell his hair. That is accurate. Bernie, as I said, Bernie did get the first question, which was cool. He stated that $69 billion last year went to Big Pharma alone. You know, that was pure profit, which just, it's always, you know, a rude awakening every time you hear that. So, yeah, exactly, Robin. The closing statement was kind of like, so, let me see. Keep getting started, I guess. My time is up. Okay, so as far as Biden, he stated, we shouldn't demonize the rich. Nothing will fundamentally change. So, you know, he stated several times that, you know, I'm not like Bernie. I don't think a few billionaires are the reason, you know, that our country's hurting. He did shine more on Fox News. Absolutely, Jeffrey, absolutely. So, you know, that was one thing about Joe, because he's just such an ass. Joe kept talking about Trump, which is really good, really great deflection. Last night, there was not a lot of talk about Trump at all. Tulsi mentioned him to say, you know, about his foreign policy. And I think it was brought up like one or two other times, but it wasn't just about beating Trump. It was more about issues last night. Tonight, Trump. So that gets frustrating. But, you know, of course, Bernie did his, well, Trump is racist, xenophobic, sexist. He's a pathological liar. He did his whole, like, hardcore, you know, thing. Now, one of the things that pissed me off so bad about Gillibrand is that she actually had the audacity to say that nobody's ever stood up to Trump more than I have. I have never seen her stand up to Trump, ever. Like, Bernie literally goes on the Senate floor and blows up Trump's tweets on freaking poster board, looks directly into the camera and says, Mr. Trump, you said that you were going to give these people a raise and Social Security. And he goes to town. He calls him out specifically. He asked Trump to debate him. Trump agreed, and Trump backed out. So no, you don't stick up to Trump more than anyone else. Are you fucking kidding me? Nobody has more than Bernie. And that's been since day one. Since the beginning of the debates in 2015 and 16, nobody stood up to Trump except Jeb Bush and Bernie. That was it. And from day one, Bernie's like, no. Like, he doesn't take any shit. He doesn't. It's not a radical idea. Yeah, Kirsten is, oh my God, she was driving me fucking nuts. Let me see what else. Biden, as well as a few others, said that they want to build on to Obamacare. Yeah, not good enough, so fuck off with that. And they asked the candidates, you know, would you provide healthcare to undocumented citizens? And of course, Bernie raised his hand, and anyone who's for Medicare for all and humanity should raise their hand. So anyway, Joe Biden literally didn't raise his hand, looked around, saw everyone was raising his hand, and then sheepishly was like, and then the lady asked Joe Biden, "Why, see, you didn't raise your hand?" And he goes, "Yeah, and she's like, "Okay, so you would give them health care because the Affordable Care Act does not. So would you put an amendment in it?" And he's like, "Well, see, here's the thing." And he didn't answer the question, of course. So, that was a total deflection. Oh no, oh no. Oh no, that's funny. Okay, I gotta see that video of my show last night. I'm scared. But Biden talks a lot about Obama while wearing Trump. Oh my God, that's so true. Why did Biden look orange? He legit looked orange. And the whitest teeth I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, he looked orange. That's true. That's a good point. So, what else? He said that he wants to put like 500,000 electric ports all over the United States so that we can this is Biden who said that, so that we can have 100% all electric cars by 2020. Oh wait, I mean 2030. So get used to that, folks. Within 10 years, we are going to have 100% electric cars. That's what Biden said. So, that should be interesting. Kamala started kind of almost doing like a Yang type thing. She said, she's going to be giving people $500 a month. She didn't expand on it, but she just said she'd give $500 a month to help people who live paycheck to paycheck. It's the first I've heard her say this. I'm not sure what is involved in it. Do they have to provide pay stubs? Is it kind of like medical assistance? There wasn't really detail or anything. She just talked about like a $500 stipend. I wrote in Bernie last time, and I will do it again. I will. Like, I don't care. I'm fully prepared. Sorry guys, I digress. I was looking at the comments. So that was interesting. I gotta see if I don't know, she might still have, it was a tax thing. You're correct. It was a tax thing. I hope you're right, Adam. So something else that was interesting, Kamala and Gillibrand kept continuously saying on day one, on the first day, on the 20th of January 2021, like they literally are saying they're going to do 100 things on day one. No, yeah, you can't really do more than one if you can even do one. But Kamala and Gillibrand kept saying continuously, on day one. And it's like, first of all, how many hours do you think there are in a day? Second of all, do you think maybe you'll need some kind of like training or some kind of, something to maybe get like comfortable first? So anyway, that was just, it's a lot of broken promises, and it's actually makes them look really, dumb, because when people sit back and think of it, they're going to be like, how is that possible that you could, I mean, saying something within the first 30 days is actually also kind of unrealistic. So, you know, the whole, like, repetitive on to my first day, that was, you know, and, you know, at the one point they had everyone go down the line, and they said if there was one thing that you had to focus on, if you could only get one thing passed in your full 4 years, what would that thing be? And Bernie said, corporate money out of politics, and that is the answer. Because of that, we don't have Medicare for all, we don't have a Green New Deal, we don't have free college, we have an exorbitant amount spent in the military-industrial complex. These things all come back to money in politics, all of them. So his answer was the best. Absolutely. So I was happy with that, because until that changes, until that changes, nothing else will. Nothing. It would only be Band-Aids. So we gotta get big money out of politics. What was most frustrating to me, as someone who, like, studies ridiculous amounts of time on each of these candidates, is I know for a fact all of them have taken corporate money, except Bernie. But even as recently as 2018, they all have, all of them. So when, you know, when it comes down to it, you can sit there on, you know, you can stand there and be like, oh, yeah, they're talking about taking money out of politics. That's how things are going to change. Your records are public. I can pull up the receipts right now and show you that just 6 months ago you took X amount of dollars. So no, not Williamson. That's correct, not Williamson, because she's never held a single day in office. So this is the start of her so-called political career. So she wouldn't have any past. So it's, you know, I don't know. It's so crazy. Like, last night when Elizabeth Warren was going on and on about not taking corporate money, I started seeing red, because she was getting tons of cheers, tons of props. Listen, just months ago in 2018, and you can verify all this, she took money from Comcast, AT&T, Raytheon, freaking corporate banks, health insurance, lobbyist firm, lawyers. Dude, okay, you literally just took this shit months ago, okay? And now you're like, oh my God, I'm so against corporate money. Oh, and by the way, she also said if she's the nominee, she'll continue to take corporate money. So why are you going to grandstand on the debate stage and be like, yes, corporate money is evil and we got to do away with it? Oh, wait, until I win the general, and then we'll just put that aside. William, I'm talking about Warren. Yeah, she got money from Gates, Bill Gates. I mean, she has taken so much money, and it's just like, you know, it's frustrating because people only see what they want to. Our country is so just kind of, the amount of cognitive dissonance and lack of empathy, those two things alone are terrifying. Yeah, and you know, the thing is like, you know, Bernie won the debate last night because all of his ideas were freaking spoken last night. Like, I made a post on Twitter today that The questions that would have been asked if Bernie never ran in 2016 would have been like, what's your favorite color? Like, they wouldn't even know where they should say they, supposedly stand. Warren is like, no, I'm going to be the same supporter to her as she was to Bernie, and that is nowhere to be found. She can eat a bag of dicks. No. Yeah, bundling, and then also what she did was, this is Warren I'm speaking of, also what she did was, like I said, she took a lot of corporate money, well, like every year, but even in 2018, what she did was she took the money she had left over from her 2018 senator campaign, and she rolled it into her presidential campaign. So, thus, she's using corporate money. Period. It's just corporate money from 2018. So that's how she's getting around it. Furthermore, a lot of these people who say, I'm not taking corporate money, what they do is they go to private fundraisers. That does not get listed on their financial disclosures. I don't know why, but it doesn't. So if you're getting corporate donations, that will show up. But if you're having a fundraiser dinner where every single person pays $2,800 and the money is all given as bonuses to each person from their boss, from the company, that's all they're doing is like they're working a way around it so they can buy their votes. So let's say you take Comcast. The highest amount last time was $2,700. Now it's $2,800. That's all you're allowed to donate by law. Well, so what you do is you take a company like Comcast, and let's say they want to donate $20,000. So what they do is they take 200 of their employees and say, okay, I'm going to give you a bonus of X amount of money, and you this amount, and you this amount. We're all going to go to a fundraiser for Elizabeth Warren, and you're all going to donate that money to her. So now, what they just did is legal. Immoral? Yeah, but it's legal. That's how they get around this shit. So, yes, Beto did that as well. Absolutely, Cindy. But unfortunately, people don't want to know this. They don't, Kamala, oh my god, oh god. Bernie was the only one who talked about Saudi Arabia and Yemen, absolutely. That is 100% true. What else was I gonna say? It was something else. I'm gonna have to fact check it because I don't like Kamala, so I'm gonna have to fact check it. But one of the interesting things I didn't know about, which is why I'm gonna check for receipts, is Kamala stated that when Obama was in office and he gave a directive in California for ICE to start detaining illegal immigrants, she told people in San Francisco, in her district, that that they could not go with ICE. Essentially, that she said, you don't have to listen to ICE. I understand it came from the president, but you do not have to go with them. You're doing nothing wrong. I gotta look into that, because if she did that, that's great. So what else? Hicklehopper, oh my god, damn mess. Such a mess. He's still salty that everybody booed his ass at the DemCal. He gave his stump speech of, socialism is, you know, the the Dem party needs to disassociate itself from the word socialism and stuff. Dude got booed for like 2 minutes straight. He had a meltdown on Twitter, like shaming people for booing, saying that, you know, you're like Trump supporters, and oh my God, it was so pathetic. And then he went tonight, and he's still going on about, you know, we can't associate ourselves with socialism. And then it was like right after he was talking about wanting to, you know, expand Social Security. I'm like, you're a friggin' idiot. What the hell do you think socialism is, you jackass? You just contradicted yourself. Do you have a Social Security card? You're a card-carrying socialist, you dumbass. He's just really unintelligent and really not knowledgeable about things he says. You know, he acts like he knows. Yeah, I should take his Social Security card away. You're damn right. Biden is so much like Trump, Angelique. I agree. Oh my God. If you read I did something on Twitter the one day where I was like, I typed up like things I saw in a Biden video, things I heard him say, and I typed it up and I said, who said it, Trump or Biden? Everyone thought Trump said it. Everyone. It's terrifying. So he's Trump with a D next to his name. Great. Well, that's just wonderful. That makes me feel so much better. Let's see. Yeah, they need to disavow themselves from the word socialism. Oh, here's a good one by Hicklehopper. This was really, Bernie's hand was like, like he was like, call on me. Hicklehopper said, oil and gas companies should be part of our fight against climate change. I'll read that again. Hicklehopper said, oil and gas companies should be part of our fight against climate change. He literally wants them involved in our fight for a greener country. He wants them not just to sit down and shut up. He wants them included. And they clarified, yes, that is what he meant. Dude, oh my God. Yeah, I was just like, oh my God. Here's the kicker. Dude is a freaking scientist. Like an actual scientist. And he's saying this. I can't. You are a scientist and you're saying, oh my God. Like, I feel like the whole damn thing is a freaking SNL skit, but then it makes me want to cry because I think about, holy shit, this is people's lives. And this is just, like, beyond a clusterfuck. If it wasn't so sad, it'd be hilarious. Gillibrand, she was absolutely rude as hell. She interrupted people more than anyone else. She and not just interrupted, but she talked over people more than anyone else. William, that I wouldn't be surprised. Bernie was great. He was great. Yeah, like, oh my God, you guys, I just can't, like, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, Gillibrand kept interrupting people, and to the point that she would say full sentences while other people were talking. It was so blatantly rude and disrespectful. Yeah, Bill Nye is a burner. Bernie was like, like, nonstop. Kirsten was just very rude. And then, you know how sometimes there's like a few seconds of quiet and you think, oh, I'll say something, but then someone else starts to say something. That's what happened. It was absolutely an accident. So someone started talking the same time she did, and she goes, "It's my turn." That was a little exaggerated, but that's literally what she said. "It's my turn." I was just like, damn. I think she was trying to be the tough female, and it just backfired because she looked like an unprofessional business. It was not attractive at all. It really wasn't. She had a stank attitude and not, you know, and it was uncalled for. Yeah, she touted working with Bernie, and she's like, but let me tell you this, I wrote the entire section on blah, 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 and Bernie's like, you know, his eyes are just like, pick me, pick me. And I know, I can see it in his eyes where he's like, let me talk. Shut up, let me talk. Another thing Gillibrand did, which makes my skin crawl, is she did woman, woman, women, woman. I have a vagina, vote for women, yay, women, oh, and a woman, and hey, if we have women, and nobody's gonna fight harder for women, because I'm a woman, and no, stop, Hillary 2.0, just stop with that garbage, because as a woman, I don't give two shits, I don't care, I want someone who's gonna fight for we the people. And Bernie has a better record for women's rights than you as a woman. So I don't want to hear it. That whole, as soon as somebody says, you know, women, I tune out. Like, it shouldn't be identity politics. And they asked Bernie about that as well. They said that, you know, they had a quote of his that said something like, you know, he said that people want to vote for the first woman president and things like that. And they said to Bernie, you know, do you think that, what was the word they used? Do you think that diversity is not a good thing? And that would have been a moment when I almost, well, he's too classy for this, but I almost wish he would have said, look, I'd be the first Jewish candidate, but I don't talk about it because I actually have substance. I don't need to do, you know, you don't need to pander to, I'll be the first woman, I'll be this, this, this. You don't need to if you have substance. All of that is, lack of a better term, an added bonus. It's it. I mean, I think, see, here's my thing with Williamson. And I think she does mean, you know, some of what she says. The problem I have with Williamson is that she's a multi-millionaire from being a spiritual advisor. I'm a heathen. I don't want church and state together. And that worries me. Also, the fact that she has literally never held a single day in office, neither has Yang, that is something I would never vote for, ever. So, you know, I can't get on board with her. So, oh my God, Sasha, I'm telling you, like, I thought the same damn thing. I hope that's how you say your name. I thought the same thing when they were, you know, when they were talking about civil rights and they asked Joe a question about civil rights, Bernie should have stood up and said, you know what? Joe Biden lied about being there for civil rights. He lied about it. I was there. There's photos to prove it. I marched with MLK Jr. I got arrested for civil rights being handcuffed to a black woman. There's receipts for it. I didn't lie about it. And, you know, oh yeah, Sandy Bernie's spiritual, absolutely. But at the same time, when he's asked about it, what did he say? He said, my spirituality means that when you hurt, I hurt. When I hurt, you hurt. His spirituality is being humanist. That's spirituality. That's how everyone should be. An empath, caring, with a conscience. That is, of course you can be spiritual and not a nut job. My problem is that she is very, look, let's put it this way. She's a multimillionaire from being a spiritual advisor to people like Oprah. That does nothing for me as far as how's she going to help people dying in the streets. That means nothing to me. It means nothing. So as far as would she be cool to hang out with? I don't know, but that's not what she's auditioning for. I don't know. She just, you know, to me, I don't know. I can't explain it. One of her people did reach out and ask if she can come on my show. I absolutely welcome her. I would like, I have several things I would like to ask her. But on the note of church and state, Pete Buttigieg does not understand that separation. He doesn't. He continuously talks about going to church, things like that. Jeffrey, I think her heart is in the right place as well. Absolutely. So, but yeah, I mean, Buttigieg, even was talking about, like, they'll have, Buttigieg was like, under this plan, people would have more money to donate to church. What the fuck does that mean? More money to give to your church? What? And then, you know, at the one town hall, they were like, what do you think about the Republicans who are Christians? And he's like, my God doesn't have a political party, and like all this stuff. It's, come on, just stop. I don't care about like your church. I don't care. So, I mean, it's really interesting to, you know, that, you know, Republicans talk about religion a lot, and people get very indignant. Well, if you're so religious, why don't you? Well, guess what? We're not supposed to talk about that with politics anyway, but that goes for Dems too. I don't want to hear about that. Like, just like if people, you know, people don't want to hear about, you know, Muslims' beliefs. I don't want to hear about anyone's beliefs unless we're having a literal discussion. So as far as on the, you know, on a debate stage or as, you know, Joe Biden freaking, ended the night with God bless our troops. I'm like, dude, you freaking started 7 wars. What the hell are you talking about? What troops are we blessing? I mean, it's gross. It's so gross. So anyway, I digress hardcore from that one. What else? Oh, okay, so Buttigieg, oh my God. Okay, so there was, I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter, but there was this post on Twitter going around like 2 weeks ago that had so many of us in tears because we couldn't stop laughing. Buttigieg used the term in an article, glide path, as a word. So, not like a hyphen or anything, glide path as one word. I don't know why, but we all just lost it. And we were making up, like, what could it mean, and, like, different ways we could use it, things like that. And tonight at the debate, he fucking said glide path. And I'm thinking, okay, wait. Is this a tool to bring out homophobia or something? Because, like, glide path, I'm sorry, it sounds kind of like, a gay joke, and, like, I don't know, but glide path, like, dude's supposed to be so intelligent and everything, what the fuck is a glide path? And I don't know, it just killed me when he said it. I was really excited. But anyway, and he says that he believes in a flavor of Medicare for all. So I'm not sure if that means, like, only a portion of people who died are going to, be like the strawberry. I mean, it just makes no sense. Like, you either support Medicare for all or you don't. Like, there are no pathways, there are no access, like, no. Yes or no? The answer is no, because you keep deflecting, so end of story, you do not support it. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, Adam. The only person who has been 100% Medicare for all is Bernie. That's it. One person. And he's been on that for decades. So for me, as someone with medical needs, I'm not taking anyone who wavers. Elizabeth Warren wavers all the time. She's like, well, I don't know. Then she doesn't even talk about it. Then she walks it back. Then she says, I signed Bernie's bill, but I don't necessarily agree with it. Then she says, well, I still want to keep all the for-profit insurance, companies involved. And I mean, no. Point blank, Medicare for all, universal health care, end of story. That's Bernie. Period. As someone with medical needs, I trust nobody else to fight for Medicare for all but Bernie. Nobody else. And I'm one of many who say that. So Buttigieg likes a flavor of Medicare for all. He was asked, why did I don't know if you guys know the history of Pete in South Bend, but it's really contentious. He did an awful job, and he has a long history of racism and gentrification, and he's not looked upon too favorably there. And it's the only political job he's ever done. He was a mayor of one town, and, so you go from one town to wanting to run a whole country, but to me, it's like, I kind of feel like, shouldn't you go to the Senate or the House or something and kind of incrementally, like, work up or something? He's younger than me, too, which kind of bothers me, honestly. I don't know. But I mean, so is Tulsi. But, I don't know. I guess I just want someone, like, who's been in politics longer. Someone like maybe a 77-year-old Jew. I don't know. If only such a person existed. So yeah, Buttigieg is an interesting creature, and he was asked a question, why were they not wearing body cameras? Why were these racist policemen? So here's just a quick backstory. There was a guy, the first and only black police chief in South Bend was fired, even though there was tape recordings of other police employees calling him the N-word and using racial epithets. They were not fired. The black, police chief was fired. Why? I don't fucking know. Makes no sense. Hey, let's, you're getting, racism thrown at you, so we're gonna fire you. So he was being asked about this. Yeah, he said all lives matter. He did. He said all lives matter. He's just, oh God. He's bad. He's got a really bad history with racism and such. And they asked him about it tonight on this stage, and they said, why didn't this change if you were mayor for 8 years? And he said, because I couldn't get it done. And I thought, wow. Ooh. Well, thanks for your honesty, I guess. Okay. So, yeah, that was interesting. Now, if you look at my Twitter, you'll see posts about the poor, oh my God, the poor guy who was just murdered by a cop last week in South Bend, which Pete did not go to the memorial, by the way. There is a picture that is so haunting, absolutely haunting. I just got goosebumps thinking about it. This poor woman, the mother of the man who was murdered by the cop, Pete goes over, takes her hand, okay, and he's holding her hands and he's trying to talk to her, and she's turning her head like this and looking at the ground. She will not even raise her head to look at him. That is how grossed out she is by him. She won't even make eye contact. And then tonight he had the audacity to say, when I look into his mother's eyes, it breaks my heart because I know he's never coming back. You didn't look into her eyes. She couldn't look at you. She was repulsed by you. I mean, the picture just says so much. I mean, she literally is turned looking down. She won't even look at him. And I know several people in South Bend that said the way, he was actually speaking, he was giving a press conference to the police rather than speaking to the family and the citizens who are outraged because yet another black guy dies for doing nothing. And he's totally cool. It was so gross. It was just gross. And my heart breaks for his mother because I can't fathom, having someone who has done nothing for your community and, just come over and try to grab your hand for a photo op. And another thing about that video that was really gross, when he was talking, first of all, he wasn't talking, he was reading a paper that was like a speech, and he was like, we need to do better for people of color, and this woman's like, we need to do better, you need to do better. I was like, exactly, what the hell does he mean we? It's not the citizens' jobs to like keep you in line. That's your job. They elected you. And she was rightfully pissed, and she kept standing up and saying, countering what he was saying. And she's like, you don't care about black people any day of the year, but now you do when you want our votes. And he goes, I'm not asking for your votes. And she goes, good, because you ain't gonna get them. I was like, yes. But that's really, like, you just said that to a black woman. Like, okay, they'll remember that. It was just really, it's these entitled people, just like Hillary. And he was a Hillary delegate, mind you. So that's why there's some similarities. But they're just so sure that they're infallible. They don't need everyone's support. They don't need everyone's votes. They don't need it because they're gonna win. So if you're not, I mean, I don't know, it was just so disgusting. And there's an article I also have on Twitter about this woman who also lives in South Bend, and her son was found hanging from a tree on the sidewalk up the street from where they live, and he was being called the N-word every day at school, being bullied. And then they found him hanging from a tree, wrapped in a bedsheet. And the woman begged Pete Buttigieg to do something. She wrote emails. She showed up at the office. She wrote letters, phone calls. He never got back to her. Ever. And you know what? Case is several years old, and it still is sitting on a shelf, covered in dust. Nothing has been done. Not even investigated. Nobody knows who killed that boy. They're trying to say it's suicide, and I've read that I watch a lot of true crime, and I listen to hours of true crime podcasts every day. That boy was murdered. He was murdered. 1,000,000,000% he was murdered. So the fact that Pete A didn't immediately call for an investigation, and also the fact that he can't even, have the decency to respond to this mother who, just reading her story, I'm not a mom, but oh my God, it ripped my heart out. She's like, my son was murdered, and he couldn't even, take 2 minutes to talk to me. Like, that happened in his district, in his town, in his neighborhood. And he couldn't be bothered. And then she tried contacting him for 2 years. It's not like it was like 1 week. She kept doing it. He was literally avoiding her. And that's not just someone who's an asshole. That's someone with no conscience. It's awful. Let me see. Swalwell interrupted Buttigieg at one point and said, well, why didn't you fire them? Why didn't you fire them? About the racist cops. And Pete goes, and Bernie side-eye was nothing to the one that Pete gave Swalwell. Oh my God. I need a screenshot of that. Woo. Wow. Damn. So, yeah, absolutely. Pete's side-eye was like, whoa. Yang, I'm not a fan of Yang for many reasons. I'm just not. That would take a really long discussion to go over all of the reasons why, but, so the first question they ask him is, how are you going to pay for it? And he goes, I'm sorry, what? It was, obviously he didn't hear what they asked him, but it was so fucking funny. It was so hilarious. Yes, Yang did, Russia bait or whatever. He was like, our biggest threat right now is Russia because they're threatening our democracy, and that's the most important issue we face right now. And dude, this is what you're basing your campaign on. Okay, well, I canceled you a while ago, so whatever. So yeah, that was not surprising, but it's not cool either. But yeah, when you're asked what is the biggest threat to the United States and you say Russia, yeah, I'm sorry, because I feel like that's kind of been overdone. Yeah, he said hacking our democracy. I'm like, okay, well, Jeffrey, that's one of my problems, because UBI is inflationary, and he does not support a federal job guarantee. He doesn't support it. Furthermore, this was really interesting because they told him your plan to give $1,000 a month to every man, woman, and child will cost $3.2 trillion a year. $3.2 trillion per year. Okay, so I know MMT, like, I know, okay, but even so, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, if people are bitching about, like, Bernie, canceling student loan debt for that price, and then being like, oh yeah, but Yang can give that price every single year, as just, like, here, take $1,000, take it, like, no, that's not okay. And the best UBI ever is Medicare for all, federal job guarantee, $15 living wage. These things are way better than $1,000 a month, because that shit, like, exactly, people collecting any kind of social benefits would not get UBI, or if they chose to get the UBI, it would cut back on their actual social programs. There's so many downsides to it, and I was talking to this one guy this one day, and he was in, yeah, and you know what, Sean, that's a great point too. Like, every man, woman, and child. So you're trying to tell me that you are a millionaire, but you're still getting your freedom dividend, which sounds so Trumpian, by the way. Why are you still, why? You're rich. Why are you still getting $1,000 a month? So there's that as well. Also, I mean, canceling student debt puts tons of money in the economy. People are saying, restaurants are slower, movie theaters are slower, things like that. One of the first changes people would notice is the fact that the housing market would boom like a mother effer. Because the number one reason people say they don't have a house is because of their student loan debt. And what happens is they take that away. Now they can afford mortgage payments. Now, they can actually get a better credit score. Things like that. Also, honestly, it would help a lot of people with health problems. Depression would seriously decline. When you go to college, I worked in student loans for 3 years. I worked for the PA Commonwealth, and I talked to people on the phone who were hysterical, crying, saying, I don't know what to do. I can't live like this. I'm never going to pay this off. And I had to have those conversations with people and their parents. It's life-changing. And how can you be excited about the future? How? So, yeah, I mean, and you see a lot of entitled people like, I paid mine off. Why should they get... Listen, it's called having a heart. I worked full-time while I went to school because I didn't want to take any loans out because it scared the shit out of me. So I did that, but that doesn't mean that I don't want other people to... I mean, I want other people to, like, kind of be, like, happy. I mean, it's really not, I mean, you're privileged as fuck if you want to be like, well, I don't don't think they should get it for free. They took it out, so they should be responsible to pay it. Well, the thing is, most people that took out, student loans intend to pay them back. The problem is there's something called interest. So, right now, federal interest rate is 6.8%. Now, as far as that goes, you have, let's say you take out a $30,000 loan. This $30,000 accrues 6.8% interest. Every single month, it capitalizes and interest starts to accrue on the new amount. That being said, you could go up like thousands of dollars, and that is what happens. So, and because of Joe Biden, they cannot actually include student loan money in bankruptcy. That's because of Biden. He put a law in place that prohibits it. So you take it out. Oh, well, tough shit. What are you going to do? You're stuck with it. So even just taking the interest away, honestly, I don't know people who would complain about paying their loans. It's all about the interest that capitalizes. And, it's taking people like 30 years to pay off $10,000 worth of student loans, because $10,000 is equivalent to literally like $25,000 by the time everything keeps capitalizing. So it's a really horrible situation. So yeah, maybe I'm not in that situation, but I'm so for, canceling it. It would be better for everyone. Let's see. I gave Swalwell a major point, and then I wanted to bitch slap him later. So the point I gave Swalwell is he said 31 years ago, I was watching the Democratic debate at the Democratic convention, and there was a man who said that it was time to pass the torch to the younger generation. That was 31 years ago, and that was Vice President Biden. And it was like, damn, like, ooh, like the whole audience was like, ooh. He's like, so it's time to listen to your own advice and pass the torch. I was like, damn, like, but he's only a year different than Bernie. So I was like, I'm not going to get too hype about this, but it was a burn. It did make me kind of like, but now then Swalwell made me want to knock him out through the TV, because he started, when Bernie was talking, he started going, pass the torch, Bernie, pass the torch, Bernie, and like a freaking 5-year-old. And oh my god, I can't wait to check Twitter and see how people are roasting him. But like, dude, yeah, Miss Nina Turner said, Bernie is the most seasoned millennial you'll ever meet. That's one of my favorite quotes ever. It's just such a good quote. So that's what I always think of when people talk about his name. But like, how dare he pass the torch, Bernie? Like, bitch, you ain't even standing on the stage for anyone except the fact that Bernie paved the way, so you need to shut the hell up. Now, Bennett was pretty damn lackluster. Bernie didn't say what. Sorry, the comments are acting weird, but in any case, Bennett was, not exactly exciting. I didn't expect him to be. And he wants to expand Obamacare, so, whatever. But he did say, sorry guys, I work full time too. he did say that Bernie is an honest guy. And it's so funny because every freaking time Bernie's on a debate or a town hall, another politician tells him he's honest. Freaking Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, they have all said he's the most honest man in the Senate. He has a good heart. Like, even though they don't agree with him or anything, people say that all the time. And these are like evil people. No, Bernie didn't say pass the torch. Swalwell did. Swalwell said it to Biden first. And then, while Bernie was talking later in the night, Swalwell started saying, pass the torch, Bernie. He said it to both of them, just at different times. But anyway, so, it's pretty amazing that, like, when despicable people, like, in politics can still acknowledge that you're an honest person. And, you know, Bernie just won the most popular senator in America 12th year in a row. You'll get my torch when you pry it from my cold dead hands, bitch. Yes. I want Bernie to go full on metal and be like, Sparks! And just like flip out. Come out just hardcore. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. So one of the things that I noticed was that everyone started using you know, I don't know, like everyone started saying, you know, healthcare is a right, not a privilege. Things like that. It's like, dude, okay. Bernie needs to start copywriting this shit because he'd be a bajillionaire. It's ridiculous. So, Rob, what grade did I give Bernie? I would say, I mean, here's the thing. I love my Bernie, and I think he did great, but I think that he was, I wanted him to go at Biden. I really did. And he, in all fairness, he didn't really have that opportunity because of the questions he was asked. But I'm gonna say, I'm going to say a B+. That's what I'm going to go with. A B+. A B+ because an A would say that it's kind of as good as it gets. And I want him to bring more fire next time. I want him to, I don't know, like, I know a huge part of it is because there were 10 freaking people on the stage. But I think that, oh, okay, you guys think B+ too. I agree. Good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if he's by himself, I'm like A++++. Yeah, Buzz, that's awesome. But yeah, I'm gonna go with a B+. I know a lot of people are like, so-and-so won because it's someone who they support, but I like to actually keep it real, and, you know, Bernie's far from perfect, and I like to acknowledge that. Did anyone shine? You know, it kind of makes me want to throw up a little to say this, but Kamala had a few good moments. I'm not gonna lie. I cannot stand her. I need a shower after just saying that. But she did. So, yeah, that kind of, But, yeah, I mean, I would say who did the worst? Last night, Beto, no question. No question. He was fucking awful. He kept getting bullied it was hilarious. Like, he was such a pushover. He was actually getting bullied. So tonight, I would probably say the worst was Gillibrand, honestly, because she was just so rude. I don't know. She was just very disrespectful. Yeah, I mean, I thought Kamala was going to blow it, to be honest. And she had some cringy moments, of course, but I mean, she came at Joe Biden. She held him accountable. She called him out on, the shit he about him praising, segregationists. And, I'm sure her reasons were, self-promotion and whatnot, but it was still good to see, someone take on someone that's that gross, even though she's gross too, but, yeah, absolutely, Buzz. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good debate. I see some questions about who do I think will be the first to drop. I was talking to my husband right after the debate, and I just don't know, because before the debate, I've been saying for like 2 months that I feel like it's going to be Gillibrand, because she's never gotten above 1%. I mean, it's sad. She's just stagnant, 1%. But after tonight, I think it's pretty damn obvious she's in it. Like, she is in it. I don't think she's gonna rise above like 2% now or anything, but I don't know. I would hope it would be like one of the no-name people, but they seem to be pretty into it too. Yesterday, now they each need 130,000 donors, correct? So, yeah, Warren ain't gonna drop. I sure as fuck wish she would. Her fake ass. So, there was a post on Twitter, from Kamala's niece, and it was a picture of Kamala and Warren hugging like this, like, and smiling so big. And Kamala's niece was like, I keep telling you, dream team. And I was like, I said that from day one. I'm telling you, like, I see Warren picking Kamala as VP. I really, really see that. It's so easily, like, to me, it's just, yeah, that's what's going to happen. And the fact that Warren's met with HRC, Hillary, the fact that she's met with Cap numerous times, the fact that Turd Way is praising her, all of these things, the fact that she hired Hillary's campaign staff, I mean, all of these things, she's, don't be surprised if she wins the nom and then puts Hillary on her staff too. Yeah, I don't know, Warren's just, she's infuriating. She went on TV today and she said, Bernie's one of my closest friends. We've stood right next to each other for years. Not when it counted. You were standing in a matching pantsuit next to his rival. So nice try. Oh, that was so gross. Well, I think Warren is more of a threat, to be quite honest, just because people are so uneducated that they actually compare Warren to Bernie. And even though Bernie proposed so many of these things in 2015 and she did not sign on, now all of a sudden, I guess she's had some kind of epiphany. And, instead of backing the guy who's always had these plans that she now suddenly feels she embraces, she went with someone who disrespected all these plans and called them ponies and pie in the sky. So, I guess she's had some kind of epiphany, but I don't know, because too many people aren't holding her accountable, and they're just buying whatever she's throwing. And she is, I'd say, as a woman, there's a lot of women running, and I think as a woman, Warren is the weakest woman as far as taking on Trump. Trump would eviscerate her in a debate because she has no backbone. She capitulated to him and his xenophobia and his racism by giving him exactly what he wanted. And he thrives on that. So, yeah, it'll be so, I mean, God, I feel like it's been 20 years already, and it's been, like, a few months. Oh, yeah, they're all gonna lose to Trump, absolutely. Yeah, it's bananas, you guys. I don't know. I just don't know. All I know is I just don't want any more people to announce they're joining the race. Because it's my understanding there's still a possibility that people can join. And we're at 25. So. So I have to, yeah, William, absolutely. And just like kind of a sidebar, I was at Occupy DNC and I protested, for 6 days in over 100-degree heat and screamed and yelled and held protest signs and had snipers on the roof pointing guns down at us, and everything like that. And I'm doing it again. I will be in Milwaukee, no doubt. I don't care if I have to hitchhike. I will be at the convention again. No question. Regardless of how this plays out, they need to be protested again. Period. They don't understand what democracy is. They have no concept of it. And whether it's for open primaries, whether it's for getting money out of politics, whether, I don't care. I'm protesting. There'll be a list of reasons. I already know it. So, that's just something I feel I have to do again. I just have to. When I went to the convention last time, it was not just Bernie supporters there. We weren't there as Bernie supporters. We were there as disenfranchised people who were cheated. That's what it was about. It's in Milwaukee this time. So I just have to. I hope a lot of other people go too. But, there's days when people feel very defeated, and I get there too. So I get it. But in any case, thank you guys for watching. You guys are so awesome. I have hitchhiked before, Taylor, but not within the past few years, and times they are a-changin'. So, I don't know. I'm a little too trustworthy. Like, I'm a free spirit. So someone will be like, hey, do you want to ride? And I'll be like, oh, yeah, sure. And then next thing you know, I'll be like, on the side of the road. But just tell Bernie I love him. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching. And, I'll keep you guys updated on upcoming shows. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'm in Pennsylvania. So, and I've never been to Milwaukee, so that's exciting. I love you guys so much, and I love that so many of you guys are such strong Bernie supporters. It's, it didn't used to be like that when I started my show. It really didn't. Burners slowly found out who I was. So I really relish in being able to, actually share like my genuine feelings and opinions and have them welcomed. So thank you guys so much. And have a great rest of the weekend. Thanks, guys. Much love.